Fox 5 Health News. The health department says more cancer cases than expected are now linked to the recovery mission at Ground Zero. This is just one of the findings from the agency's research into the long-term health effects of the 9/11 attacks. Joining us now, Fox 5 medical contributor Dr. Devi Parampal. So, disturbing news that we've sort of been seeing over the years stack up, with the cases of people who were sick who rushed in to help.
Sure, and in this registry, they've looked at about 70,000 people. So in terms of cancer, I mean, they are seeing more cases than in the general population and more than in rescue workers in other places. So what they're seeing mostly is prostate cancer.
Wow, I found that to be really interesting, prostate cancer.
Yeah, prostate cancer, well, that one in particular, I mean, part of it might be related to monitoring. So because these people are being monitored a little more frequently, perhaps they're getting diagnosed. Well, part of it at least. But some for sure are probably related to 9/11 itself, like multiple myeloma. People are getting diagnosed with that more often, and skin cancers as well. They're also finding some other things. So these folks are more likely to have gastroesophageal reflux symptoms. So this is sort of heartburn. So heartburn, acid rash, and it seems to be related to stress as well. So maybe the stress of 9/11 and then just sort of the compounded stress over the next 10 years. Yeah, so it persisted. It wasn't just in the short term.
Sort of shows there's a lot of ways to be impacted by the trauma.
Exactly.
Of that event.
And they found a relationship between that and PTSD as well. So if the folks had PTSD, then they were also more likely to have all these physical symptoms. So there are two ways of looking at it. Of course, stress makes everything worse, especially extreme stress. But then on top of that, you might realize that, well, if we can do something also to help with the both the psychological and physical health of these folks, that can have other repercussions, like positive repercussions. So we might be able to help them in different ways. And then, of course, even the folks that weren't actually in the Twin Towers or around the Twin Towers on 9/11 itself, if they were involved in the recovery effort, then there was a higher incidence of asthma. So, a lot of different people were impacted, just the ripple effects of this.
Makes sense. Easy enough to figure out why.
People who live down there. Okay, so I'm very suspicious of this study, but it says if you've managed to hold on to your sunglasses for a few years without losing them, it doesn't matter because researchers say that you should swap them out anyway for a new pair.
Well, so they're suggesting 2 years, that people should swap them out every 2 years. I don't know for sure if it needs to be 2 years, like as an absolute time, but I think they bring up a good point that we don't have an expiration date on sunglasses, and maybe we should, because the same ultraviolet radiation that can affect your skin, leading to skin cancer, that same ultraviolet radiation can also affect your eyes, causing problems. So sometimes people will get red eyes, irritated, sensitive eyes. Sometimes they feel like sand is stuck in their eyes and things like that. So that can be sort of a sunburn of your eyes from
supposedly maybe your sunglasses, the UV protection expires after a certain point and it's no longer effective.
Exactly.
And approximately 2 years is when you need to.
Well, that's what they're proposing, but that also assumes that the sunglasses were effective to begin with, right? So some sunglasses don't provide as much protection from UV rays. Yeah, they have to protect you from 99 to 100% of this UVA and UVB light, and then also the majority of visible light as well, because otherwise you're still at risk for these problems. And then, of course, if you're somebody who rarely goes out on vacation, you rarely wear sunglasses, maybe that's different than if you're constantly skiing, you're in the mountains, you always have that glare and the reflection. I mean, then your sunglasses may need to be changed more often, and maybe you need better coverage on the sides, right?
No, right. I think it's a real thing, though. It's certainly something to think about because they can wear out, and it is important to keep your eyes protected like everything else.
Sure, and then now some of the newer research is also suggesting, we always spend so much time looking at computers, tablets, phones, but that blue light that comes from that as well can also affect your eyes and cause problems. Yeah,
your eyes are really tired at the end of the day.
Exactly. Even those tablets, the television, we have so much LED and fluorescent light too in our environment, so all things to keep in mind.
Don't forget your eyes. Good deal. All right, Dr. Devi, we appreciate it.